We are all a human being. It's what I believe. It doesn't matter what your religious background, what your citizen, we are all a human being. If we carry this subject really and we believe it in the heart, all the human being in the earth, you will never ever see any injustice in this world. We are not the only human under injustice. We have a lot of many human in all over the world under injustice. I hope, I wish everyone carry this from the heart. We are all a human being. In Bethlehem, in a refugee camp called the Hesha camp. It's the biggest one in Bethlehem, not the camp we go to visit with me, another one. Time I introduce myself to the people like you, I'm not saying I'm from Bethlehem, where is I born and grew up. I say I'm from village called Zakaria. Zakaria, it's my parents, grandparents town in 1948 now, inside the Green Line. It's under occupation authority, even I can't go to visit. Always teach me to reduce myself, I'm from Zakaria. My father, before he died, he need to connect me and connect my generation in his parents' town name. I have 6 children, 2 boys, 4 girls. If you meet anyone from my children by chance, from the youngest to the oldest, and you ask him please from where you are, very quick answer you receive. I'm from Zakaria. What I learned from my father, I teach my children. It's mean we connect each other generation by generation in our grandparents' town name to never forget, because we are the owner. From grandfather. The first government in the Israel occupation established have a prime minister. She's a woman called Golda Meir. She have very famous speech and sentence she shared in her first speech. She said, the old generation died, the new generation forget. Our answer, we never forget. If we have 100 generations under occupation, we will continue to reduce ourselves. We are from our hometown, the grandparents' town name, that's not one. Okay? In the 3rd of December 2017, we have in this parking here Alternativity event organized by the hotel, talking about Christmas celebration and birth of Jesus. It's the most special Christmas celebration ever, personally, I have in my experience life. Time I tell you this, I'm a Muslim guy. I don't like to say Muslim Christian, but I have to tell you something. I'm a Muslim guy and said it's the most special Christmas celebration. It's strange. You know why? Because you have to understand, to carry back with you one thing. Christmas celebration, birth of Jesus in Palestine, it's not Christian holiday. I'm sure. It's Palestinian holiday for every single human in Palestine. We celebrate in this birthday of Jesus and Christmas celebration. It was special. Why? Because it's 3 reasons. The first reason we used children 8, 9, 10 years old was the choir talking about birth of Jesus and Christmas celebration. I'm sure you agree with me, no one honest, clean heart, special in the life like children. I believe angels in the sky with God, the angels of the earth, children. The second reason, we have a special person from your country. He's a film director, very famous, lovely human person. His name, Danny Boyle. This person, my friend, I put him the second reason. Why? Not because he's famous, film director from England, rich man, blah, blah, blah. No, because he's special human. Time he was training the children here, I don't feel he's an old man between children. I feel he's a child between children. He's an old man, but have a young child heart. The third reason, we receive, I told you, remember, end of November 2017, yeah? You know what's happened this day? 3 days before the Alternativity event, we received special gift from this lovely Banksy. These 2 angels. It's the original graffiti done by Banksy. It's the last one done in Palestine by Banksy in 2017 outside the hotel. Okay? Because the last one 3 months ago inside the hotel, you know the broken heart over the table inside the hotel? It's 3 months ago from Banksy. Good? All the graffiti already done by Banksy in Palestine have money from 2004, 5 till now. Many time he came, many graffiti. And all over West Bank, even in Gaza, you go there. You imagine, if you believe in a human, nothing stops you to do what you believe. You go to Gaza even, in the tunnels, in here and there, everywhere. My question, this graffiti, this art of Banksy, have some meaning, yeah? I don't know how many language we have in the earth. We don't need to know how many. If we bring all the language in the earth, and we came just to translate the graffiti of Banksy to see which kind of meaning have. No language in the earth have power to translate any graffiti of Banksy in a bad meaning. All graffiti of Banksy following a humanity, justice, lovely peace, lovely life. Not against, and nothing against a human and a human. Good? This hotel, my friend, you know how many rooms? 9 rooms and the museum. After 1 year, the owner he shared with us about how many people booked in this 9 rooms and the museum after 1 year. You know how many? 50,000 people.
Wow.
I'm swear. Heart to heart we need to talk. I'm swear by God. I meet most of them. Banksy, courage, special kind of lovely human in this earth from all different nationality. I meet from every country in the world. I meet people in these 2 years. Before I worked 15 years with international, I didn't meet all the nationality and all the countries. This is lovely kind of a human. Why? 2 years. I'm swear by God, I don't have any bad feedback to share with you about any person I meet. My experience 2 years work in Banksy Hotel. And you are part of this lovely kind of a human for me. Before I finish with you, I tell you this because I believe in my ex-job, I worked 12 years in a government organization. I was the field coordinator in 19 villages in this organization. I meet every single person here. Good. During my 12 years, I have many bad feedback, especially with the American. Not because they are bad people, no, please. They are lovely, nice human. But their problem, they grow up between wrong information, propaganda of the media, crazy leaders, and government. They came here, these people, clean. What they believe? They think and believe we are the occupation, we are the terrorists, and we send suffering from our side, the occupation side, and they are the victim. Can you imagine? The victim be occupation and the occupation be victim? How come? It's unbelievable. Yani, the wrong information and the wrong media, they show them something, they change. Look, the media, what they do. Change the truth, the story, the reality, and everything. I change all these people came with me. Yes, Jews talk about Muslims, but you think this is a human living now. They was alive during the life of this prophets was alive, Moses and Jesus and Muhammad. No one meet them. It's thousands of years ago. But because they are holy people, we have big faith, believe in God, and we have religious background. We trust God a lot. This is holy people. We have to talk about them till the end of the life. We not stop talk about this, the prophets as a holy people. You know, time I talk about Banksy, personally I talk about myself here. Forget anyone. Marwan, talking about myself. Time I talk about Banksy, I'm swear by God, I talk about Banksy from the same level and more. Time I talk with my prophet. Why I say this, I love this person. He take care of children sick by cancer. Support for community, for country, and no one ask him. He coming, and he don't show his face and introduce himself. I'm Banksy, I do this. He don't look at following something to be a famous. Have many famous people, they pay money, a lot of money for interview, for media, to be a famous. But he don't looking for this. He do everything under the table. He don't like anyone to see what he do. You know what the difference between Banksy and all the famous people in the earth? In America have like Hollywood, NBA, the player basketball, you know how much rich? The player footballs in Europe, the actors, the singer, many famous people, yeah, in this earth. Can you imagine if all these famous people in the earth doing what Banksy do, what we have? For sure we have better world. We fix in big number of a human, we get them from the worst hard life, injustice life, to the good, better life and justice life. But we pray for God to have more and more people like Banksy have the same mentality of Banksy, a humanity of Banksy. You know why? To end more and more the suffering of the human being in all this earth. But only we have one Banksy. Okay?
Right.
Welcome.
So we don't know how he looks like, right? Nobody knows.
You know he's look like what? I dream sometime with open eyes about this person. Not like any human look. He's a different look. I'm sure he have smile face, have lovely face, good, beautiful eyes, beautiful heart, beautiful feeling. It's the meaning and the subject of this person, Banksy. Can you imagine time you talk about someone from your heart, your spirit, without meeting him? It's not happened with anyone. Only Banksy. Banksy's look, no one have the same look of Banksy in this earth. Till now. I hope I see people more like Banksy. I promise you, I will share their names behind the name of Banksy. My friend, you know you walk with me here, and you are in Bethlehem City. You know this? You are in Bethlehem City. It's not a strange question. The media bring outside to think about the wall. Why the wall built? The first reason, it's the border to separate between Palestinian community and Israel community. The second reason, it's for security, to protect Israel people and Israel community from Palestinian dangerous terrorist people. Come on this side. Good? It's not the truth. Trust me, it's not the truth. I need to show in your eyes everything today. My friend, you see this watchtower? Keep this in your mind just. Later, me and you, we go surround the wall and we go in front of this tower in a second side of the wall. Okay? In both sides of the wall, you walk with me today. In both sides of the wall, no any connection with Israel area, with Israel community, with Israel people. In both sides of the wall, you know where you walk with me? In the heart of Bethlehem city. Good? Everyone know what's mean the green line now, yeah? You know the UN border, the green line, how far from this wall here in Bethlehem? Why it's not the border? I tell you. To ignore this in your mind. Because the green line, the UN border, accepted by all the world United Nations, far from this wall here, 10 kilometers, maybe more. In another area and all over West Bank, the wall far from the green line, maybe 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 kilometers. 100% it's not the border. Why it's not for security? Come on. This background. I'm not accepting this, what they say, because Muslim, Christian, Jewish, we have the same God and one God. It's holy for every single human person have faith in God. حبيب الرحمن. أنا بدك محمد أحمد. Now I stopped here. Here we have, you see the sign of the mosque. Salamat حبيبي يا ورد هلا. It's a mosque for Muslim people. Holy place for Muslim. You know, now they cut the sign of the mosque called Bilal bin Rabah Mosque. They cut the sign of the mosque, take it away, and we don't have access to use this mosque anymore. In this time, I need to tell you why it's not for security, the wall. Good? From here, my friend, can you look everybody? From 300 checkpoint till the end of this corner of the street, direct. You know how many meters we have? 300 meters. But the wall, the black line, is the separation wall. Like snake, you know, go over what? 2,300 meters. It's mean it's not for security. The wall built for two reasons. Confiscate, control more land in Palestine, on our side in East Bank, to kill any light of peace, any opportunity of peace, and the idea of two-state solution is the only solution war to end the conflict between Palestinian and Israel. 48 Israel, 67 Palestine. But this occupation, believe in one thing, need Palestine with no people, need land, with no... The new generation. I accepted two-state solution because I need to give them chance to live with peace, with dignity, with freedom. Because, sorry, we have 4 generations. You know what means 71 years we're under occupation? It's not 71 days, week, or month. This is 4th generation, and the 5th generation start to born under occupation. It's more than injustice. My grandfather, my parents, me, and my children, and now my grandchildren, under the ignoring of this crazy human rights organization, United Nations, Security Council, this fucking leaders all over the world, Arab leaders, European and American. What they're doing for a human and a humanity, not just in Palestine, and all over the world. They do nothing. Because of this, we feel everyone ignore us. We need to rest. We have right to live like everybody. I know I visit 10 countries in Europe. I see which kind of life, imagine. I'm not talking about the human here. I see which kind, I swear by God, which kind of life the animals have, not the human. If we reach the level of the animals' life in your countries, I need to thank God. Can you imagine? Because I see which kind of hospital the animals have, the dogs, which kind of doctors, service, medicine, surgery room, everything, protection. Anyone here have right in your country to come shoot and kill the dog in the street and no one punish him, he will go to jail. He will be under punishment. He will be have crazy thing, yeah? But here, every second, Israel occupation kill the human. No one asks Israel question. Everyone support Israel. It's more than injustice. Because of this, I accepted two-state solution. You have to understand Marwan as a father. Please.
The majority of Palestine.
Many, big number of Palestinians accepted this because we get tired. Everyone ignore us. No one support us.
And the government also.
Government for sure, from Yasser Arafat, ex-president. He signs the Oslo agreement and he accepted peace, accepted two-state solution, and everyone. 67 Gaza, Palestine, 48 Israel. But Israel ignored this. Israel killed any lot of peace, delete the agreement of Oslo. They they kick everything away from this land. Israel don't believe in peace. Occupation believe in need. Land with no people. If I tell you the soldiers throwing every day something, it's not the truth. You know why? They're not throwing every day. Every tour, I see something new thrown by the soldier. If I say not the truth, not because I need to have good answer, no, have hard answer. Every tour, I see something new thrown by the soldier. Everything you see here, my friend, it's written by Israeli product and Israeli language in Hebrew. Right. Come on closer. Who's cleaning?
Yeah.
Some people came with me the tours. Some families have relative.
Yeah.
Before a few days, their families have their relative buried here. They came, collect all the garbage there, and they bring this bucket. Need to take it away, but they not come back. It shows something special, my friend. Where is the? Let's take it. No problem. Later I show. All this, my friend, here you see. The bottle of urine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All this, you know how, and this one. You know where they throw it? Not here. They throw it over the graves, behind the graves, here and here. What I do, my friend, I carry 2 cups of carton, like coffee, like this. I'm swear by God. I carry these bottles like this. All the bottles and throw it here. From there. I can't walk and see this disgusting issue over the graves. Excuse me. You don't have to walk over the graves. Please, from there. Don't worry, don't worry. Can you go from back? Look, I tell you where. Look, please, don't worry. Go between the graves up. No, where's the... There. Clean she was in this grave. Now have another garbage by the plate of the food, by the wind, everything enters inside. Okay? I'm gonna show you something crazy. You see this stamp of the idea of your army? The soldier in the tower, I think you knew here. You are new here. I didn't see you before. Because I talked with many soldiers. More than 50 times. I swear by God. I asked him one question. Please stop throwing this here. Like I want to throw this disgusting issue over the graves. If your family, your people, I'm sure not. Yeah? Why they throwing the urine? Also, they beat the bottles and throw the urine over the graves. Forget the occupation, the conflict. Fuck this idea. Just buy a human to human. Please. What this? Who? Who? Or what? Prisoner? What's prison? The one he threw this, he in the prison? But they not stop to throw it. Trust me, my friend. Have one soldier was like you talk with me in a human way. After 1 week, I didn't see him. They kick him away from here. He write article in the IDF website. I see, he present me the link. And he write article about this. He don't like not accept it. He not stay here. I swear, trust me. Every day, every tour, I see something thrown by the soldier. I think your army, the commander, they will not arrest, put in the prison all the soldiers. I think. Please trust me. Every day I see something thrown. You maybe, not maybe, I'm sure you talking, I look you to your face. I'm sure you grew up with a good family, teach you how to be a human in the life. It doesn't matter what you are. You are a soldier, have a gun or nothing. You are a human. If you have heart, believe in a human, you will never do something like this, I'm sure. But have some people, I know, you know, have some Arab soldiers. I know from Bedouin, Druze, and Muslim and Christian. They're doing more than this. And who's but kill you. That's it. Because of this, they live under fear all the time. Okay? Don't worry.
Yeah, I know.
You will remove it now.
But I'm just...
طيب, this house, can you imagine I came to your country like Zambia, stealing your home? I don't need to talk about occupation. Stealing your home, kick you and kick your family away from your home, and use your home for my people, bring him to teach them about God, my holy book, my prophet, and my religious background. It makes sense? This is what they're doing here. Rachel's tomb. In this building, my friend, in the right side, it's Rachel's tomb inside. In the left side, you see the white dome? Everyone see the white dome, please? Come on, please, closer. The white dome, my friend, it's the mosque for Muslim people. Over the mosque, what we have? Half moon. Over the church, have a cross. They take off the half moon. Why? To delete the history and the subject of this holy place as a Muslim holy place. Good? But it's not the only one. From 1948 till now, we receive one kind of leaders. You know which kind of leaders? The crazy mentalistic leaders live under fear. If I live under fear, I will never ever take the right decision, by the way, in my life. I tied myself in the past, always I'm thinking in the past and put myself in the past. I never look in the future in new eyes and clean eyes. Without this idea, I will never go one step forward in my life. This crazy leader change many names of villages, towns, cities, Christian holy place, Muslim holy place, from Palestinian Arabic word and name to Israel Hebrew word and name. Why? Can we read this in Hebrew to feed the other own? But it's stupid idea. Because they live under fear. You know, my friend, 55%, maybe 60% of the budget of Israel government go under which subject? Defense, military, security, army. They live under fear. He's 13 years old. In the 5th of October 2015, he was come back from his school, was clashes between the soldier and the children here. The soldier opened this gate up, you see the blue gate, and go down here to attack the people. He came with the student from his school up, standing behind this piece of concrete. Come on, please, closer. I need to show you his picture a few seconds before he shot and killed. You see in the circle, the red circle? This is the child. With the student, you see, you believe me, there are students from the school. They're standing here. You know what he do? I need to show you something, please, to be clear. You see anything in his hand? Gun, weapons, something, weapons or something in his hand? Nothing. You know what he doing? I'm swear by God, just standing like this and looking, watching the clashes. One sniper soldier shot him and killed him here. 3 bullets. After he killed, we buried him in the cemetery here. And we came, built here a tent for the family to say condolence and support the family 3 days. It's traditional. After we buried him and we have that traditional funeral here for people to come support the family 3 days later, we put this picture here to remember our victim, this martyr. Often I told you the soldier attacked the camp. You know what the soldier doing often? They shoot even the picture of the martyr by real bullet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the small market. You know what's this? It's plastic rubber bullet, have metal iron inside the plastic rubber bullet. They're from the army. His boss, his leaders, I don't know. One question. Why you shoot this Palestinian? Even did not mention why you shoot the child. Why you shoot this Palestinian? If the answer of the soldier be, I'm not feel security, I'm not feel safe. You know what's happened?
Nothing happens.
It's a close the file, the conversation, no more talking. But my question, you need to know why this soldier, the truth, trust me, why the soldier shot this child? Because he's a child and kids. Anyone finish high school in Israel? You see his face now. The soldier have conversation with me. He's a child, 18, 19. Anyone finish high school in Israel? You have to go, Habibi Anas, to have a 3-year service in the army before you go to university. You know how this, in this age, how they use this soldier and these children? Like a machine, under control, under order. They ask him to do 1, 2, 3, not more, and they're doing 1, 2, 3, not more. Brainwash. I swear by God. Because of this, we have a lot of victims in Palestine, because they are children, kids, soldiers. You know in Gaza how they shot the sniper, shot what? People in the wheelchair, special needs without leg, they shot by sniper and killed. What do you think? Which kind of soldier they have? If I'm a sniper, I have telescope. It's not by wrong. I have telescope, I have zoom. I recognize what I shot. If I need to shoot like this kind of bread in the ground, far away from me, I know it's part of the bread. But they shoot because they are under control and have brainwash, not more.
But people die every day in Palestine?
Yani, last week they shot one in Jerusalem, 20 years old. You know what they're doing? Confiscate the body of this martyr in Al Isawiya in East Jerusalem. The soldier attacked the village and the children and this teenager's age, they was taking the, what's called work fire.
Fireworks.
They was just in front of the soldier. You know, in the party, in the wedding, in anything here we doing. We celebrate by this, it's not dangerous. one sniper police shot him and killed him. They take the body of the martyrs. They put it in the fridge 1 week, 10 days. You know how they give it? They ask the family, if you need to receive the body of your son to go buried with respect, you have to pay 25,000 shekel, and you have to bury him not in your town, in another area, and just only 50 people have to come from your family and your relative to come in the funeral, not more. Can you imagine? You killed my son. Give me chance to bury him in a good funeral with respect, with my way, in my village, in my cemetery, because I need to go visit him every day maybe.
But don't forget that the Palestinian refugees story started since 1948. And from 1948 until now, we are talking about over than 70 years. 70 years, we think it's enough time for us to develop our daily life, to move out of the tent, to the shelter, to small house, till we make it to the houses that you will see now. Nowadays, the camp does not look like a camp anymore. The camp looks like any other neighborhood in the city, but it's got special story. We will talk about it now. So everything started from 1948. Before 1948, Palestinian, we lived under the British mandate. And during the British mandate, thousands and thousands of Zionist group, they came and they started to settle down in Palestine. Those people came from Germany, from Russia, from Africa, and it was easy for them, I'm talking about Jewish community, easy for them to come from outside and settle down in Palestine, building them own settlement and build them own settlement, them own kibbutz. They became stronger, bigger, till the British give them all the facilities of the country. They start to build them own school, them own clinic, till they start building them own military group. So 5 militias and 5 military group was created, trained and armed during the British mandate. The situation kept till 1994. In 1994, the British decided to go home, and they just left without leaving any authority and without leaving any connection between those new arrivals and the Palestinians. Both sides lived far away from each other. We have no connection with hateness in the between. The authority in the middle, the British, they just left without any organized to the floor. And that is 1948 war. That is 1948, when the Zionist group, the militia I'm talking about, they united together and they start to have real attack against the Palestinian villages and towns. Many Palestinians were killed, different massacre, all over around the historical Palestinian map. The survivors from those massacres, they start to run away, telling the news for others. The survivors, they left from them village, running away. On the way, they start to meet other people, meet other villages and cities, telling them what happened back in them houses, and that's helped more people to live. Then also, the Zionists use propaganda of spreading news between the villages about killing and robbing and stealing and burning. Also, this is called Plan Dalet, and that's how more than 400 villages were forced to leave. 400 villages forced to leave, and they kept running and running and running. 750,000 Palestinians became refugees in that event, where we describe it in Arabic word Nakba. Nakba, it's the catastrophe of the Palestinian. Nakba, it's the event when 750,000 Palestinians became refugees. Those people, they kept running and running and running till they mainly settled down in 5 locations.
Sorry, why were they running?
From the massacres. Because the Zionist group, they are chasing them. Many people were killed, and the Zionist group, which is 1948 war, they kept running and they killed everybody they saw. And that's how the refugees story started. The refugees, they settled down in 5 locations. In West Bank and Gaza, Lebanon, Syria and Jordan. United Nations after, they came and they start to rent piece of land in all these 5 locations by renting piece of land, providing some services, providing some tent. The people that don't know that they are refugees. Everybody thought there is a war going on. When the war is over, we will go back. It's the same what's going on now in Syria. People are waiting in Jordan. People are waiting in Lebanon. We are waiting in Turkey. When the war is over, they are waiting to go back. It's the same, the history again. It's the same what happened here. But the difference is who pushing who. Waiting and waiting more than 15 years. Then the United Nations, after 15 years, they came back and they said, now we will build a concrete houses for you. So the United Nations proposed to build the concrete houses for us. You imagine yourself living in a tent or a shelter for years. Then somebody say, I will build a house for free for you. What you will think? What you will be happy, you will be sad, you will be
annoyed because you want to go home.
Exactly. Some people in that time, they were happy because they have more comfortable house. But big movement started in that time saying no. Saying no because concrete does not mean temporary anymore. And in the moment when we live in a concrete houses, we will lose our return, our right of return. And that's how people start to refuse it, but later on, especially after 1967, we start to accept. We start to accept after people kindly start to lose hope of them return, and that's how the camp start to be built till the refugee camp looks like any other neighborhood in the city, but we are not part of the city. It looks like, but it's not. Because until today, we are, like this kilometer square, under the United Nations responsibility. So Palestinian Authority have nothing to do here. We don't have education or meditation. All these services, we got it from the United Nations. And until today, the United Nations is the responsible of the refugee camp. And we refuse to get any other services except from the United Nations, because we want the United Nations to be the responsible, and as long as the United Nations is the responsible, we have more chance to talk about the Palestinian refugees story outside, and we want them to carry them responsibility. Them responsibility because from the beginning, the United Nations established the UNRWA for mainly 2 reasons. To help the refugees wherever they are and to send them back home. They work hard on the first and they forget the other. The only witness of the Palestinian refugees story from 1948 until today is the United Nations. And that's how we want them to keep archiving our history till they solve this problem. And that's how the key became the sign and the signature of the Palestinian refugees story. And that's how everybody until today holding the key. And we build the biggest key in our entrance to be a reminder to our new generation, to tell them the story and the history where we come from.
Dear chosen ones, you're a special class living in a house of glass while holding rocks in your hands. The rocks you sleep on causes nerve pains now on edge. The foundation you've built your community on, the tablets, the commands, the law, are missing one thing. It is the one thing you can't touch, but once it touches you, you are able to touch others in the unseen realm. Can you find the space to grieve so you begin the process of forgiveness? Hardening hearts have hardened walls, fortified in kings, in the rock that blinded the eye once, but some miracles are only meant to be performed once. Now the time of rock throwing is over. A new rock set upon the Temple Mount that opened the portal where Muhammad passed through, where Jesus gave the new covenant, where the beginning of the Middle Kingdom was created when Adam and Eve left paradise and began a timeline of a storyline revealed in 3 eyes of faith. Abraham, the father of the promise God gave in faith, seeks to unite us all. Hardened hearts have hardened walls and a narrative that cocks a gun rather than a handshake with a warm embrace. Yet I, the foreigner, the visitor, comes through, and both sides look into my eyes and say, "Welcome." I am welcomed because I am not here to settle but to visit. I am welcomed because I know that I am only a visitor on this planet. My soul tells me that I do not belong here, nor do I want to be. The land, the sea, the trees do not belong to me, nor I it. When I die, it is my heart who will convict my soul, and the portal to heaven is now open at any time-space continuum, and is not relegated to the Temple Mount, though the Temple Mount serves as a transcendental metaphor of the human soul in relation to the foundation of the heart. The Temple Mount. The foundation is love, through love, for the sake of love. That is the only way, because the gate to heaven is as narrow as the eye of a needle. And if we are to begin sowing, we must first sow the seeds of love. If the means of achieving the thing is the same as the means that once made you a victim, then the act of achieving by this means will make the thing you have achieved empty and meaningless. God designed your walk to be meaningful. The only rock we must throw is the rock we must throw away, the ego, or edging God out. When you displace a group of people by the very group of people with the history of being displaced, then an eye for an eye makes God's chosen people blind. Home is where the heart is, and if we don't have hearts for people as people, then we have no home. We find ourselves once again wandering in the desert like our ancestors. If the people on the Temple Mount are fixated on tribes rather than the trials against the enemy and his legion unseen, then we have lost the point of the Temple Mount in its entirety, like overlooking the forest through a fixation on a few trees. Allah means God above all. Jesus preaches the law of love that fulfills all laws. Love thy neighbor. Moses leads his people out of the bondage of slavery and into the land of the free. You can't have freedom if you become the bondsman enslaving others. You can't know Jesus if you have no love in your heart for your own neighbors. You can't claim God if you do not respect God's most precious divine law of them all, the law of sovereignty, of the individual's soul and his free will to be or not to be. Untying knots. These are the knots of each faith bearer. Focus on untangling your own knot. before you set about untying others and fulfilling God's promise for the world. Anything short of love is a facade rather than a foundation. Setting about building walls to hide, setting your gun to point at targets of other people in the name of, and using that same gun to force displacement are the tools of the enemy in the unseen realm. These are all Maya, the Maya we must each break free from when we are set to face the trials before us, so we can judge another person by the same measure that we are judged. This is how the cracks in the wall begin to show. The cracks is where the light shines in, says Rumi, a mystic Sufi poet. Where there is love, there is God. Where there is welcome, there is God. Where there is surrender, a desire to drop the rock, there is God. Faith over fear, compassion over apathy, and love over laws. A new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another as I have loved you, and ye also love one another. By this shall all men know that ye are my disciples, if ye have love one to another. John 13:33-35, King James Version. You have been called by God to fulfill this commandment, the one commandment that is the only way that God's promise to Abraham is fulfilled. Love thy neighbor. The cracks in the wall are where the light shines in. Starting with the cracks on your cheeks when you smile, or cracking up over a joke, or cracks along the concrete walls through the cries that long for love again. The real battle is faith over fear, faith in love over fear, false evidence appearing real of an existential threat. You and I don't belong here anyway. We belong to God. We are the chosen ones. To love or not to love, you choose. Black guns. Today, a group of teenagers, guys and girls wearing a green jumpsuit and black hats, were holding AKs around their shoulders, walking across the street of a metropolitan city now called New Jerusalem, as if to remind themselves and the world that they are never going to be safe, that they must defend their homes at all costs, even if it means becoming the very monster they claim they are fighting. When one kills a life, two things happen. First, the taking of a soul morphs into an addiction we call bloodlust, equivalent to the experience of someone injecting heroin into their bodies for the first time. You are filled up with the illusion of superhuman power. Second, this same illusion begins to corrode the soul like battery acid, so the heart hardens towards hate turned inward, alchemizing the shadow rather than integrating it. The potential of a teenager holding a gun is the separation potential from good and from God. The victim has the potential of becoming the perpetrator. The monster the fighter is fighting inspires the fighter to become the monster to fight the monster. Only, what kind of monsters are we creating in the name of defense, in the name of home, in the name of God? Home is where the heart is. Don't you know that we are in this world but not of it? The true home you defend cannot be resolved through hardened walls and better guns, but through your own spiritual walk with God. The true home is a handshake rather than a shakedown. Good people are created equally. The people enclosed by the walls are just as chosen as the ones who built the walls. This is the lesson of the Holocaust. Those imprisoned are just as good as the wardens who contain. While the Nazi wardens thought they were containing evil, they did not see the evil rise within their own hearts in their own acts. Catch yourself in the act before the act catches up to you. Home. Don't you know home is a space in your heart rather than a physical place on this land? What good is land if the people in it are not loving? What good is Jesus if he did not sacrifice himself for the sake of humanity? What good is Muhammad if he did not preach the word of God's will to unite us all? What good is Moses if he stayed as a prince isolated inside the prestige of Egyptian royalty? What good is the land we are fighting if what we are fighting for in the name of God creates confusion, fear, and hatred among the three faiths? It doesn't make any sense when seen from the lens of a visitor. Visitors are welcomed. Let's not forget, all God's chosen ones are visitors.
Grand earth has quaked before, moved by the sound of his voice, and seas that are shaken and stirred can be calmed and broken for my regard. And through it all, my eyes are on you. And through it all, it is well. And through it all, my eyes are on you. And it is well with me. Far be it from me to not believe, even when my eyes can't see. And this mountain that's in front of me will be thrown into the midst of the sea. And through it all, my eyes are on you. And through it all, it is well. And through it all, my eyes are on you. And it is well. It is well. So let go, my soul, and trust in him. The waves and wind still know his name. So let go, my soul, and trust in him. The waves and wind still know his name. So let go, my soul, and trust in him. The waves and wind still know his name. The waves and wind still know his name. And it is well with my soul.
change the subject of the weapons from violent, hard subject to good subject. All these earrings, handmade, I swear, from tear gas bomb. You know what mean this? We not give up. We still have big hope. If we change this violent to non-violent, we are the owner of this land. All the rings, and then it's bracelets. Here.
And it is well with me.